Michael Jackson had the world looking at him.
Agreed.
And the whole thing was a debacle. It should never have been tried. He was
an overzealous prosecutor.
Absolutely. Who saw himself as some sort of Javert chasing Jean Valjean. Because
How poetic.
Well, he had tried to get Michael before, and it failed. And after Michael was acquitted in this case, I went to the press conference and I asked him, the prosecutor, I said, "Are you through chasing Michael Jackson?" And he said, "No comment."
Wow.
And that night, Michael left his beloved Neverland and never came back.
Wow.
But preceding that, there was this crazy trial with 2,000 media accredited. They were not all there at the same time, or little Santa Maria probably would have sunk under the weight.
Right, under the weight.
But most of them were tabloid journalists. This was the advent of the tabloid trial. And
what toll do you believe, in hindsight, what toll do you believe that trial took on Michael?
I think it killed him. I think the trial killed him. You could see him shrinking during the trial physically. When it was over, he called me. I mean, they all call me. It's amazing. But Michael I had met him, and I saw him every day. And he finally called me after it was all over to thank me for being fair to him, because nobody else was. They all were out to get him in one way or another. And I said to him, "Michael, how was the trial for you?" And he said, "It was the hardest thing I ever did in my life." And that was true. Michael was a very sensitive and gentle soul, and he was not up to this. He became ill over and over again. And I think that Mesereau believed, and I believed, that he was set up. That this woman that brought her child and claimed that he had molested him.
For money.
Oh, yeah. The setup was for more than money. She wanted to live at Neverland for the rest of her life. Michael had been so kind to this woman and her son, who had overcome cancer, that he gave them a suite on the grounds, a little cottage that was normally occupied by Elizabeth Taylor, his friend. There were swans floating in the thing outside. There were flowers everywhere. There was music playing. It was idyllic. This is a woman who had been living in the ghetto in Los Angeles. She thought she was going to stay there forever. And so when it became evident that she wasn't, and that Michael was going to give them eviction papers, she went to the DA and claimed that he had molested her child.
So you were not surprised that Michael was acquitted?
Oh, I was. As I said, Michael should never have been tried. But because he was Michael, there was no way they were going to let it go.
Right. So there was a court of public opinion.
And a court,
legal.
And so that is the tragedy.
They're not the same.
That's the tragedy, because supposedly if you go through a trial and you are proven not guilty, you are supposed to go on with your life.